welcome to Big Business Spotlight, where small business is transformed into big business through knowledge and your support. I am your host, CachiaCherise, and we have a guest today who will be telling you about their services and their business and who they are. So let's just get started. Hello, how are you doing today?
Hello, how are you today? Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for being a guest. So, how we're going to open it up, we just want to know who you are. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about what you do in your
Okay,
business.
so I am Eulica Kimber. I am a CPA, MBA, and business growth coach. So probably starting back in since 1991, I've been doing accounting, audit, taxation services. So it's been a career-long love relationship with numbers. And I provide accounting, bookkeeping services for small business owners, primarily female, but I'm open to everyone. It just happens that my clientele just happen to be female entrepreneurs. I call them my entrepreneuros. But I actually also preach to them a lot about what a big business looks like and how to become profitable and the habits of a savvy business owner. That's kind of what the niche of my business is. I work with some wonderful clients who are looking to grow. And sometimes people just look for the product or the service. It's not just that, it's the systems, it's your organization, it's the information you're getting. So I help them also to be organized and less crazy.
Wow, yeah. I definitely appreciate your services because that's something that we as entrepreneurs need. I want to kind of get into what type of mindset an entrepreneur should have when they're in business as it relates to their finances.
So an entrepreneur should have a growth mindset, a mindset that is teachable and ready to learn. I think you have to treat entrepreneurship just like you did when you started your first job. You have to be trained. Just because you're the boss of it doesn't mean you know everything about it. And because you're working alone, sometimes you think that you're the head person in charge and nobody can tell you anything. But as by yourself, you have to make sure that you're seeking out information and learning actually how to run a business. You're actually starting a new job as an entrepreneur. So that means you need training in finance, training in systems, training in social media, in marketing, those kind of things. So a teachable mindset is what is necessary. My best clients are those who are teachable. But those who resist all of my recommendations, I want to say, well, what'd you pay me for? Because they're going to fuss about everything. I don't want to do that. And I'll give you an example, and I don't know how your listeners will react to this, but one of my pet peeves is Cash App. Reputable businesses do not do business. You don't get, when you go to Walmart, you don't say, well, what's your code? I'm going to pay you. No, it's a machine there. And so when I say, well, you need to move to a business bank account, we need to set up a Square or something so we can flow this stuff through your accounting records. And they like, no, that's not what I'm doing. Unteachable. So you expect to grow. There's a continuum of business growth. Some things we did when we first got started, but we see the Fortune 500 companies, how they operate. We can't do everything that they can do, but we can take a credit card. There are means for us little business owners to be able to make sure we get our payments without that back and forth. So I said all that to say a teachable mindset is required. That there's only one way to do business, whether you have $1 or 1 billion. There's a continuum of learning and just being open to an understanding that you're always learning as an entrepreneur.
Yes, that is important. Just to piggyback off of that, I know as far as I'm concerned as an entrepreneur, that was one of the major things that I felt that was important when starting my business was to get incorporated, was to get a business bank account with a reputable bank.
Thank you. Oh.
Yes, and to make sure that, I have some type of accounting system in place that can help me to better see where my money is being spent and what's coming in. So I think that's very important because when it comes around tax time, you want to be able to have that information accessible so that your taxes can be done correctly.
And it's easier to do that stuff when you are small and getting started. So just imagine if a Fortune 500 company waited until they got $1 million and said, oh, I think I need an accounting system. It's kind of late, or tax time is too late. You need information day by day, period by period. You need to know which customers are profitable, which ones are, costing you more money. You need to know which suppliers are giving you the best product for the money. That information only comes back to you. Your business can only be as organized as you are. And you can only grow to the capacity that you're organized to receive new business. And so those are the kind of things that I preach. When I say preach, I'm not a preacher, but those are the things I kind of say over and over and over to entrepreneurs when I meet them. They want to tell me about their business idea, and I want to know, so what systems do you have in place to know 6 months down the road if this idea you thought was so great, if it's really working or is it really draining your pocket? And if those mechanisms are not in place, you're going to keep spending good money after bad and be in a ditch and you don't even know why.
Yes, that's so true. And to kind of another question that's related to that, what are a couple of pitfalls that you see entrepreneurs continuously doing that is hurting their business?
Oh, there's so many. One is doing everything themselves. Underestimate, and I mean not outsourcing. I think I'm gonna have more than a couple. Two is not charging enough or having a correct product mix that supports a true business. So some people are quitting their jobs and losing their foundational source of income, but they haven't really even structured what their business is and how it's going to replace that income. So they're just saying, I'm in business because somebody told me I could bake cakes, but they haven't really figured out, oh, should I do cupcakes? What sells better? How will I deliver them? They haven't figured out all of that. And they're investing, they're building a website, spending money, but they don't even know what their true business is. So sometimes it's I would suggest slowing down and figuring out what is your business. Because you might not want to build a website for cakes, because after 6 months, you might hate it. You might not want to spend all this money, this time, figure out what your true passion is. And the last pitfall I would say is people running after money and not after what they really enjoy. So money things, if it's about the money, that's a hustle. So we got people in our neighborhoods that do that on the corner. That's not what we do. We're here to build build businesses that have longevity, that can bring us wealth over generations. There might be more than one thing. Doesn't mean you're going to have the same thing all the time. But money cannot be the primary focus. It's really about what skill you have, what pain the customer has, and how those things marry. So the reason why McDonald's, and I'm thinking about that because I just left McDonald's, because I was running around doing errands and they have a pain point. They knew my pain point. I didn't have a lot of time. I needed to eat. I needed to go to the drive-through. That's where the money is. Figure out what your customer needs and what you have the skills and equipment to do. And that's the sweet spot.
Wow, that's very important. Thank you for providing us with that. That information can go a long way. Okay.
I can talk about this all day.
Yes. So the next question is, what is your why behind your business? What made you get into this type of business?
Well, I guess it kind of shows me. So in high school, I always had a strong gifting for numbers. So math, calculus, trigonometry, those things came easy to me. And I took a test called, I think, the ASVAB to go to the military. And I scored very high in those things that were analytical or whatever. And I thought, okay, I can do something with math. And my counselor and I worked out something. And I said, I'm going to be an accountant. Like, that's literally how I got chosen. Like, I never met an accountant. I didn't know an accountant. But I went to college. I majored in accounting at Virginia State University in Petersburg, Virginia. And I was able to, I've always had a job in my field. It's a field that's in high demand. So I've gotten to work in a lot of different venues, from corporate to federal, state, and local business. I've worked for nonprofits. But I also learned that skill was desirable. So when my kids were in PTA, I was the treasurer. In my sorority, I became the treasurer. Even when I didn't, I'm like, wow, y'all have money everywhere. Wait a minute, let's make a list to see. And so the gift kind of makes room for you. And so that gift I was doing that for free. I didn't know that could be a business, that I would help, the PTA structure their fundraiser, and they would have reports for the meeting, or I would do some things for my church. I didn't know, but later I got the idea, and I think I got hired by another accountant. She needed some help on her project. I'm like, oh, I could do this for myself. And it was another source of income. It was something that was easy for me to do because it's what I did all day, number stuff. And so a business kind of grew of that. And it's really been a blessing since day one. So as soon as I put my shingle out, I turn work away every week. So it's so much need out there, and for people who need that information. So I'm thankful for social media and avenues like your broadcast today, because we get to give that information to people in mass. Because I used to be trying to do it one by one before we were really on the internet doing things. So that's kind of the story of how I am where I am. It's been a great ride. In the beginning, I tried to be everything to all about everybody. So I did the taxes, I did the bookkeeping, I did everything. But it became to be too much. And so I even challenged my clients to really look for what part of what you do is your niche. What do you love to do? And so I now have people who work for me who do the bookkeeping. I outsource that. They come through, clients come through me, and I have somebody to do that. But what I really love is the business planning. And so my business has evolved over the years. And so it's more than about getting your taxes done. It's let's look at the numbers and see if this thing that you love is even profitable. And if it is profitable, how can we make it more profitable? How can we scale this up? How can we get some standard operating procedures so you can fire yourself and hire someone to do some of the day-to-day work? So that's some of the stuff and I love to do it. I could talk business all day.
Wow. Thank you. That's interesting. Wow. How you got into it and everything like that. How has it impacted your life though? Like as a whole?
It's impacted, well, the simple thing is impacted the comfort of my life. So I've been able to, my husband and I were able to raise two young ladies, both college educated. So it made as a life that I could run a business and work a job and still have time for my family. And that was beautiful. Also, I've also seen the reaction and the relief of so many entrepreneurs who are struggling to do everything on their own. They don't know where their money's going. They got bank accounts everywhere. Money's going crazy. And then to be able to step in and give them some systematic solutions to help them on their way, to help them build to the next level. Because I find that a lot of entrepreneurs leave the job to get away from the hustle. But they build this big, crazy monster of a business that's even more like juggling because they're trying to do everything. They don't know what's working for them, what's not. So I find relief in that. So I feel like the prosperity of my soul is so big that I have to give it to others. So I'm here to help others prosper in their business. So my business is successful when I can come into yours, bring some order so you can prosper more. Then that's where I get my blessing. I think that's what my mission is.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I've never seen it phrased that way.
Yeah, I feel like accountants are storytellers. So every time you see on the news about any company, they're telling you that story in numbers. They're going to say Apple stock split here. Here's the amount. This is their revenue. So it's the story of your business. So if I want to know the story of your business, all I have to do is look at the financials. I can see what you sold, who you do business with, where areas, are you selling on the internet, or you have a storefront. The numbers tell the story of your business.
Okay, well, thank you for that. The next question we're going to get into is, how has your service or your business impacted others around the world?
Well, that's a good question. So I have in my time, it's in many ways. One, through my business is online. So I've helped people from different countries. I've also, on my fourth book, but my very first book was QuickBooks and Churches for Nonprofits. I co-wrote it with another CPA, Lisa London. And that book is on Amazon today, and it's literally sold around the world. And it teaches churches and nonprofits how to use the standard QuickBooks Online and use it and set it up properly. Because accounting for a church or nonprofit is a little different than accounting for a business. And so it teaches you how to do that. And so that book is literally sold around the world and still sells and after several years. So we get messages from around the world about that book. Yeah.
Wow, that's impactful that you
Yeah.
can touch people from different types of avenues, whether it's churches, entrepreneurs, or even just around the world. That's amazing.
Everybody has a money story to tell. Every organization. When I teach accounting 101, I always say accountants are the gangsters of the world. Nothing happens unless we say, I don't care if it's the president of the United States or General Motors or a school district or your business. Nobody moves until the accountants say the money is there to move. So that's what I really, really want to bring. And the thing about the small business owner, that why you need to partner with an accountant and a CPA is that we are hired by the Fortune 500. We're hired by, because they don't just say, oh, I just want some chick to do my numbers. No, they want CPAs and MBAs. So I feel like my gift and people in my niche are able to give that level of quality service and knowledge and wisdom to the small business owner. I think that's something that is so valuable that we can give them to show them really there's a way to grow your business. So that is what really feeds my soul, is that I'm actually feeding into others and pouring into others. That's a blessing for me.
Wow, yeah, I want to give you your kudos because that whole profession is something that makes the world go round. So,
It is.
so
We're nerdy. We got pocket protectors, but we are secretly gangster. When you watch them, next time you watch a movie, go off, look in the credits. There's a set accountant. So there's a person who writes the checks. I'm telling you, we're everywhere. We're everywhere.
wow, I'll be looking for that in the next movie I
Yeah,
watch.
watch it.
Okay.
It's accountant in the credits. It's always an accountant.
Yes. Okay. So, what is some of the? Just give us a few types of feedback that you've gotten from some of your clients that you work with.
So some of the feedback has been, sometimes it's tears, because sometimes people are kind of overwhelmed with the place where they are. Sometimes it's relief, because we've actually created a business plan. We also do business planning where we not just look at this year, but we look at the next 5 years and see where do we want to grow. Because even though you have a lot of ideas as an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to stagger and stage them to be able to release them properly. Because we got to get project A complete and sold and profitable before we can go to B, C, D. Sometimes the entrepreneurs were over here. So I really feel a sense of comfort and peace that comes from it. Sometimes I get text message or inboxes of something, people showing their sales. Like, I did what you said. So sometimes it's about some entrepreneurs are spread too thin financially because you're trying to do all these things. And I'm like, no, let's just focus on this one product for 6 months. Get this right. See what the customer feedback is. And then when I see, I'm like, that money that you're spending and all this other stuff, you can put that in some Facebook ads, or you can hire somebody to build you a really nice website or whatever it is. And so when I see the cha-ching from my clients, that's our ultimate goal, because of simple things of firing somebody. Like, some people think they're supposed to employ their whole family. No, you might not be able to do that, based on your business model and what you're making. So I'm like, oh, I just fired 2 people. Now I can pay myself. Yes, good.
I love it. Thank you. I do want to kind of give my feedback. I did take one of your courses, Unbootleg Your Business. It was a webinar that you hosted and then you did, and you put down a lot of key points for businesses to be able to do to get it out of that bootleg stage. So I really appreciated that because it kind of let me know what I was doing right and some things I needed to tweak. So thank you for that. I definitely think that's something that, entrepreneurs would definitely benefit from.
Yeah, I think and if we have to think of other communities think of themselves as a collective. So I want us as African American or minority entrepreneurs to think more of ourselves as a collective. It's not just your business. You're participating as a part of an economy. So as we rise together and are more professional, are able to reach more people. And I do have a small ranch. So here lately, people have been talking about the buy black, buy black. No, we buy excellence. If you happen to be black, that's a blessing. Because sometimes I think we get on those type of things. Not that it's wrong, but it's the principles. It's, do you have financial statements? Do you have a business bank account? Do you have a return policy? Do you have consistent suppliers? Do those things and the money is come, because my clients are all brown. I want all money. White, black, pinstripe, I want it all. Because we're here to participate in the full economy. If we're trying to segregate, we're like the other folks. We're trying to build a worldwide economy that we're flowing in. And so that's really what my passion. And I know I'm telling you a lot about what my philosophy is, but it's so big, but it's simple that each one of us as entrepreneurs have to participate in. And it goes back to your first question, that mentality. Your mindset. Do you believe you can only sell to Black folk? No. This is a worldwide economy, and I want us to jump in feet first and participate and be ready for whoever comes through that door. Because we're going to grow this thing until we're next door to Walmart. I really believe that in my soul. And some of these businesses are growing. Some of our businesses are growing to that capacity. And those are the people who have a good business coach, who have an accountant on their team, who are doing the things that they've been advised to do, because you can't do that alone. The Fortune 500 companies aren't doing that alone. They have a staff of people who counsel them, who test out things before they go to market. And I just want us to get to that level, that we don't have to move money from one pocket to the other, but no, all of our pockets are getting fat together. That is the mission. And so I don't know, some people might send me some hate mail on my position on buy Black, but I want everybody to buy Black, other folks too, other colors.
Right. Like, yeah, that's definitely important. We want to be more right.
Yeah, because we're the number one consumers in the nation. We're the number one consumers. So who buying Black? Because we consume everything first. We consume cars, clothes, shoes. We are the number one consumers. So I don't even know, I'm not even understanding that mindset. Maybe somebody can help me understand. But I want us to just build excellent, stable businesses that can be launched to the next level. That's what I want for our community.
Yes, and that's very important for sure. Okay, so I want to give people the ability to know what type of products you have out, and we're definitely going to get into letting them know where they can go and find those products. But what are some products you have coming out that's upcoming, or projects or services that you want to talk about?
So my primary service is bookkeeping and accounting. One big thing that I'm doing now with new entrepreneurs is setup services. So we set up your QuickBooks online, or set up your customer management system, create policies and procedures to kind of get you on the right road. So that's a service. Plus, we also do some coaching. And I say we because I have a team that I've subcontracted with. So I have accountants, I have tax folks on my staff, and we support we're entrepreneurs who support one another, and we each stay in our lane. Also, I have the Plan to Prosper Small Business Academy, which is part of the course that you saw about the Unbootleg Your Business. That's another avenue. Also, I'm on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, where I do Business Savvy Sundays. So every week I'm giving free content as to something you can do to improve your business. So for this month, we've been talking about the cost of chaos in your business. So that's free content that's out there that helps small entrepreneurs get their business on the right track. Again, we go back to the original question about mindset. And the mindset is that as an entrepreneur, are you teachable? Are you learning? Are you growing? And I try to make sure that I'm doing my part to provide that content to give people information for themselves. But my main crux of my business is the business consultation one-on-one. So people work one-on-one with me. We do 6 months, 12 months coaching programs where we get the business bank account going. We build your chart of accounts in your accounting system. Then we talk about business planning. What products or services are you doing? Sometimes we have folks that are trying to be the barber, trying to travel, do a travel business, trying to cook cake, all the same person. And I'm like, how many hours do you have in your day to do all these things? Let's focus on one thing, get it going. After we get it going, we'll hire somebody or something to keep it, and then we'll go to the next thing. Let's build excellent and then expand. But that's kind of the crux of it. I think I'm going to provide you my scheduling link, and people can get on my calendar and we can talk about what services that they need, because every business is unique. So I can't say 1, 2, 3, this is what you need, because this is not true. Every business is unique. That's one of the things that we also talk about, the mission and vision during my coaching services, the mission and vision of your business, because every business should have a mission and vision that drives it towards its products and services. So you shouldn't just be cherry picking what you do, but what is your vision? What do you want the customer or client to walk away with? And how can we build products and services that provide, that you're equipped to do? Because sometimes it might not be your wheelhouse. What the customer needs, you don't know. Because there are a lot of folks calling themselves coaches or whatever, but I don't know that they're all equipped to really turn a business around. And, so it's also being honest with yourself. And then that Jumpstart Your Business in 10 Days, that course, one of the first things you do is a self-assessment. What do I really know how to do to really bring tangible change to somebody else? What service can I provide? But I got a long answer for everything.
Yes. Well, thank you. Well, let's get into where they can find your content. Can you give us your social media handles and website?
Yes. I'm Eulica Kimber CPA everywhere, all together. Eulica Kimber CPA everywhere. So on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are my primary. But my email address is Eulica Kimber CPA. Very easy. What else did you ask me?
Your website.
Website.
Your website is
Eulica Kimber CPA. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So you'll provide the scheduling link as well, and I'll put that in the post so that if someone wants to do a one-on-one with you, they can click on that link and schedule.
Definitely. They can get right on my calendar, and it'll show you what's available. And it's my goal to my academy is called Plan to Prosper, Small Business Academy. And so when you work with me, you get a plan to prosper. So that's what we do. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. You provided us with so much important information as being an entrepreneur and the things that we need to look at in our business as it relates to finance. I really appreciate you being on, Eulica, and giving us all this rich information.
And I want to say one more thing to you, how important it is that we have platforms of education. And I really appreciate, I've been following you for a little bit, and I appreciate that you're always seeking to expose and teach. And even when you interview folks, you're asking them about their experience as an entrepreneur, and somebody needs to hear that. So you make my job easier, because people sometimes will hear something that sparks, that lets them know, oh, they need help. And so I just want to thank you, and I'll be praying for your platform that you continue to reach many folks. So I'm thankful for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I'm glad I'm making a difference and really, showing others different types of businesses, not just one. That's the basics, the premise of this whole platform. So thank you so much. So everybody, with everything that has been said today, dig deeper than you ever have before. I love you guys, and we'll see you next time.